We do this too, we're bringing that fire. Talking real talk, Kentucky's on fire. From bourbon to ball games, we got that flow. On the We Do This Too podcast, yeah, you know. From country roads to the city lights, they bring the heat, man, every night. We do this too, let's make it clear. If you ain't listening, you ain't here.
Welcome back, y'all. It's another edition of the We Do This Too Outdoors podcast. And as always, we are presented to you in partnership with brands that we feel represent the very best of the outdoor industry. So before we get started, we'd like to give a special shout out to Moultrie Products, Ullers Archery, Threads Custom Bowstrings, G5 Outdoors, Blackburn Apparel Company, Deer Pip Scents and Lures, Vision Clothing, Bluebird Waterfowl Company, Angry Chicken Outdoors, Alps Outdoors, and last but certainly not least, a special shout out to the good folks over at Briley's for leaving a legacy of shooting innovation. Whether you need new cameras to elevate the scouting experience, new arrows, or anything for your archery setups, clothing, scent, or whatever it may be, as a supporter of the podcast, you can use promo code WDT2 promo. That's WDT2 promo for 15% off anything on the website at ullersarchery.com. Some exclusions may apply. With that being said, let's dive into another episode of the We Do This Too Outdoors podcast with your host, Mr. Courtney Williamson. What's up, guys? Welcome to another edition of the We Do This Too Outdoors podcast. I'm your host, Courtney Williamson. I've got a super special guest today on Mr. Armando Martinez of the Bow Hitch. How you doing, brother?
Yo, what up, fam? I'm good, thank you.
Good deal, man. If you guys have not seen the product that this man makes, you need to check it out. It's called the Bow Hitch. We'll get into it here a little, pretty soon. We just got back from Eufaula, Oklahoma. Me and two of my buddies, Trey and Jay Cam, they both were running them, and I was carrying my bow the entire time, and my arm was hurting. They were like, bro, you need to get you a Bow Hitch. So here he is, Mr. Armando Martinez. How did you get started? First off, how did you get started in the outdoors, brother? And then we'll break this thing on down.
Right on, man. Yeah, I grew up hunting. I didn't grow up hunting as hardcore as I do now. As most people, I think, I grew up. I was the beer handler in the back seat, and had the cooler. My dad had an old Blazer, old K5 Blazer. I was in the middle of the back seat, and I'd be able to watch out both doors. And my dad and my uncle sat in the front, and we'd just be driving roads, man, old country roads, and they'd tell me, "Hey, juice me." Grab them a beer, put some lime and salt on it, and hand it up. Take the first swig with the lime salt on it, hand it up, and that's how I got started hunting, man. It's come a long way, but I'm blessed to be able to do it that way. Since a kid, before the beer drinking days, Dad would take me out and we'd go hunt rabbits, and I'd get to watch them. Basically, it was road hunting back then, but a lot of deer hunting is mostly what we did. And then if he drew an elk hunt or was going elk hunting, I really wasn't allowed to go on those. That was kind of the adult trip. But I loved it ever since I was a kid. Passed my hunter safety. I think I was like 11 or 12. It must have been 12. And I got my first deer hunt. My dad took me on. It was a muzzleloader hunt, old school, heavy muzzleloader. Set trigger. It has the two triggers, and it was a Thompson Renegade 54 caliber. We would shoot round ball and patch. I mean, as old school as you can get. Had the peep sights on it, and shot my first deer with that dude when I was 12, and been hooked ever since.
That's awesome, man. So growing up in New Mexico, is that what that's what you mostly grew up hunting, was deer?
Deer and elk was quite a bit, and then there's some antelope over here. We actually have quite a few species to hunt, but my dad was really just would go out and go hunting for a week or so. Was mostly deer.
Gotcha.
Mule deer. Mule
deer. Gotcha. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
How's the tags out there? Are those over the counter? Or do you got to be a resident, or how's that work?
New Mexico is really difficult. It's 100% draw opportunity. So it's kind of cool, and it kind of sucks in the same breath. Like, as an out-of-state hunter, you have like a like about it roughly 10% allocation of tags for you to hunt without an outfitter. So if you just wanted to apply, which our application process is open right now, you can apply and you have, say there's, 100 tags, there's 10 put away for non-resident hunters that are not hunting with an outfitter. Then there's another 10 for hunters that are hunting with an outfitter. And then the other 80% go to New Mexico residents. There's no point system. It's a 100% lottery. So you have the exact same chance of drawing every year, even if whether you drew or not the year previous.
Gotcha. Okay. I didn't know how that worked out there. I've heard New Mexico was kind of difficult to get to go hunting out there, but I didn't know exactly how the system worked out there, man.
Yeah, there's not a lot of tags. It's very difficult to draw over here. If you draw, the hunting is great, but drawing's the hard part.
Sounds good. Well, I'm about to make you laugh here in a second.
Okay, let's hear it.
Tell me the story of Louis L'Amour.
Oh man, which one? Shit, I love Louis. Okay, so super cool, dude. Actually, the way Louis L'Amour came into my life is, I have an uncle. We all have that one uncle that's just dope, right? Like, for whatever reason, he took me under his wing. He taught me to fly fish. He taught me how to tie my first flies. He taught me archery. And he taught me a lot. He's just super cool, man. Treated me right. Always treated me great. And so when I was, I want to say I was probably about a sophomore or a junior in high school, and he had already taught me fly fishing. He taught me how to tie flies, and so he invited me. He said, "Hey, we're going elk hunting. Do you want to go elk hunting with us?" So I'm like, "Yeah, shit, of course." And he said, "Well, we'll try to find you a bow, and then if you see something, you can shoot it. You can shoot my tag if we see something." So I don't know the difference, dude. I'm still a young kid. I haven't gotten super into it. So I'm like, sure, whatever. So I tell my dad, "Hey, Uncle Mike wants to take me hunting." And he's like, "Okay." I said, "I need a bow. I need to go buy a bow." And so turns out my dad had his old bow, dude. It was an old high country. And I mean, it's ancient. I don't know how else to say it, but bro, this is 20. No, this is damn near 30 years ago, and it was old when I got it. So anyway, my uncle tells me it was just like when I was fly fishing. He put out a lid to a 5-gallon barrel, and he says, "If you could land the fly on that 3 times, you're ready to go fishing." And so that's all I had to do. And so with the archery thing, he said, "If you could hit a pie plate at 20 yards with 5 arrows, then you're ready to go. You need to be able to do that before you come to my house." And so I just started practicing with my dad's bow, his old arrows. Like, I couldn't even tell you what arrow. I know it was fingers because there was no releases. I was shooting fingers. And so, long story short, we go up to this camp, dude. We're in this octagon, old army tent, canvas tent, old stove. Like, it's just straight old school, dude. Really neat, in the middle of nowhere, nobody around us. And we set up camp, and then him and his buddy, it's his best friend who he's been best friends with since he was a kid. He goes, "Well, we'll take a nap and we'll go out tonight." All right. So he's like, "Well, lay down, take a little nap." So I I lay in this bed, a cot. It's a small, shitty army cot. And mind you, I'm, the coolest kid on the planet. So I think as a junior or whatever I am, somewhere around there. And my uncle whips out this tape deck, just an old school tape deck with the big old D-cell batteries. And he hits play. Boom. Louis L'Amour audiobook. And so I got this dude doing these cheesy voices. It's the same author doing all the voices for the Indians, for the Cowboys, for everybody. You hear a gunshot goes off and you hear a ricochet in the background. And so I'm like, "Dude, Uncle, what is this mess, dude?" And he starts laughing. He goes, "Dude, just listen to it. It's Louis L'Amour. You'll appreciate him one day." And he goes, so I just listen. 2 seconds later, both of them are snoring, cutting logs, and I'm listening to this audiobook. So uh, later on that night, we get back, do our thing, start going into bed. So I tell him, I'm like, Uncle, if you guys fall asleep at different parts, like, how do you know you guys just started over or whatever? And he's like, dude, we've been listening to that one damn book for 15 years. He said, we'll just hit rewind for a while or flip it over and start wherever it leaves us. Wherever it starts off is where we listen to it from. So that was it, man. That's how I got started. And fast forward, I found a Louis L'Amour book at a yard sale, and it was 50 cents or $1. I recognized the name, and ever since then, I've just been hooked, man. I would read these books to my kids before bed, and I'm just working my way through the series. There's a Sackett series that's part of the Louis L'Amour collection, and so I just finished Flint. I finished Flint a couple weeks ago, and now I'm on to the next one. So I dig them, dude. I really dig those books.
That's hilarious. Yeah, my boy Trey was like, "Hey, man, when you interview Armando, you gotta ask him about Louis L'Amour." He's like, he'll probably just start busting out laughing when you start talking about it. So
Yeah,
I had to pick your brain about that one. That's pretty funny.
I'll tell you what, if you guys come to New Mexico and you happen to be sitting in a blind anywhere, our blinds are different here. We got ground blinds. But depending on the location and where I'm at in my book, I'll take a book that I'm ready to get rid of, and I'll take it, put it in a Ziploc bag, and then find a nice spot for it in the blind. That way, should somebody show up and they're hunting the same place I am, I leave them like a little keepsake that's not going to get trashy and blown away and stuff like that. But I thought that's kind of cool. If you're in New Mexico, when you're sitting in a blind, look around, you might find you something.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I like it. Little keepsake, something you can take back home with you.
Yep.
Heck yeah, man. That's awesome. So yeah, let's get down into it, man. So I hadn't heard of the Bow Hitch before this weekend. I'd heard of different things to use to, put on your pack and just different things, but everything that I've read, it was just either too heavy, it sits too high on your back. So when you're walking through the woods, your bow's getting caught on stuff, your arrows are getting caught on stuff. So what was the thought process with you inventing the Bow Hitch?
Well, necessity. That's as simple as that, right? Like necessity is the mother of invention. And it's just that our slogan is carrying your bow sucks. And once you carry it long enough, you know that. And we just knew there was a problem. And I've owned just about every single bow carrying system that there is out there, and was never happy with any of them. So really, dude, just born of necessity, because carrying your bow sucks. Everything that you mentioned before has an obvious problem with it. They're good for, typically they're good for one thing, and that's transporting from A to B. They're not designed for hunting. So, our big thing was, hey, we need to make something for hunters. I don't care if you have it in your backpack or how you carry it, if you put it in a sling or what you want to do when you're walking from point A to point B. But when it's go time and you need to be ready to hunt, like that's where the Bow Hitch excels, and that's where we're really trying to keep our focus on keeping the hunter hunting and not just transporting their bow.
Got you. Okay, so for the listeners out there that can't see, like me and you, can you break down what the Bow Hitch is and where you put it?
Sure. So I'll show you right here. This is a Bow Hitch with a bunch of different logos. I bought a new laser so we could custom engrave people's logos into it. But what this is called the Bow Hitch. So it's 14 gauge steel. It's powder coated. It's 100% made in the USA. And this is it. It's beautiful because it's so simple. There's no moving parts and there's no sound that comes off of this piece of equipment. So this gets married to, let me find you one of my Bow Hitch straps. Here we go. This is a packaging here that we send out. So I'll show you. When you order a Bow Hitch, you get the Bow Hitch, whatever size and color you order. We have 3 sizes and 3 colors, and I can explain that in a minute. But then you also get another bag, has a cool sticker,
Yeah,
You're
I'm
gonna.
a big sticker guy. I better get a
Oh,
sticker.
dude, yeah, let's go. Yeah, you're gonna get a couple of sets of screws, and I'll explain these to you. So just, I'll just keep in mind, you're gonna get 2 sets of screws, and then you're gonna get this strap, which is also made here in the U.S., right here in Albuquerque, which is my hometown. So this strap right here has a loop on one end of it, just an opening, right? So I'll show you. So there's the opening. What we do is when your bow hitch is attached to your bow, this strap hangs on the back of your hangs on the shoulder strap on your backpack. All I do is slide this into the bow hitch, and that's it. Now this strap is carrying the weight of my bow off of my shoulder because it's attached up here, and your bow rides just on your side. And I'll grab a bow. I see a bow right here I can pick up. So the bow on the new bows, it attaches directly to the riser. So that's why we have the 2 sets of screws. On these new bows, we get the bow hitch, put it right to the riser, and install the 2 shorter screws. If you have a sight that is mounted to the outside of your riser, it's going to stick out a little further, right? So we have longer screws to make it mount on the outside. But that's essentially what it looks like right there, and that's how low profile it is. So once this is installed, it rides with your quiver and your arrows next to you. So the bow hitch strap holds everything just like so. So your bow's always on your left-hand side. Should you need to take a shot, you can come straight up, take off your bow hitch strap, and shoot.
Yeah, that's a game changer, man. Because I think the first total archery challenge I went to was in 2022 in Belvedere, Tennessee,
Okay.
and there was a guy there that was selling kind of these rifle type slings that you like put around your neck, and then my neck at the end of this thing when I got home, like I had to go to the chiropractor. That's how bad it was because like all that weight was just like on my neck. And I didn't want to, carry the bow up in those mountains, man. And I was just like, I got to find something different. And I went down the rabbit hole of trying to look at, certain different things or whatever. And I just got tired of looking at all this stuff that looked the same, like carrying it around your neck or trying to carry it around your back or trying to carry it around your, in the front of you somewhere. And I'm just like, that's a lot of pressure on like your back, a lot of pressure on your neck, stuff like that. Well, this weekend, my boy Jay, he put everything on and he strapped his thing and he's sitting there talking and I said, bro, what in the world is that? He says the bow hitch, dude. I was like, what is that? He's like, you've never heard of the bow hitch? I said, dude, no. I said, I'm not a big tech guy like y'all are. Like I'm real old school. I'll just carry my bow. He said, bro, your arm is gonna be on fire when you get done. And so once we got done, my arm was on fire from carrying my bow all day because I got a lot of weight on my bow. I got a front bar and a back bar, and I got a lot of weight on my back bar. And Oklahoma is a lot different than Kentucky. We got a lot of rolling hills here in Kentucky. And we shot this Rolling Bones course at Shot 3D Experience. Shout out to them. Got off that mountain, and Jay's like, how you feel? I said, my shoulder is on fire. He said, I feel good. Trey's like, I feel good. I was like, y'all suck.
Yeah.
So went home, started looking up stuff, going down the rabbit hole, watching videos, watching, the system and everything. And I'm like, this thing works. He's like, yeah, it works. Why do you think, I wouldn't, they were like, we wouldn't pay for something or, support something that didn't work. So that's when I reached out to you. I said, bro, I got to get you on the podcast. You got to tell this for somebody like me that was ignorant to the fact that you don't have to carry your bow while you're hunting or shooting a 3D event. So
you know what's crazy, Matt? Like that's the only way we've grown. To this point, we have not paid for advertisement. So it's all just been word of mouth. And the beautiful thing is that exactly what those fellas did for you happens all across the country because that's the only way we get the word out. I'm looking to do advertisement, but we started from the ground off. We bootstrapped everything, so every penny that gets spent for the first several years comes directly out of our pockets and our family's pocket. And it's hard to start something. I had no idea. I'm a fireman by trade. I retired from the fire department. I was an arson investigator, so I had no business background. I had no business sense. Um, Let me take that back. The business sense I had came from the restaurant industry. My parents own a restaurant. My mom, and so you know treat customers with respect and provide a good product, and the rest will take care of itself. So I knew that. Uh, and with that, being able to produce a cool product, which is the Bow Hitch, and treat people right, right? Like if you tell me you hunt a particular way, and for whatever reason the Bow Hitch, like you say, hey, I'm gonna ride my bike in to my stand 3 miles. Well, this probably isn't the best thing for you to do on a pedal bike, right? I don't want it to get caught up in your handlebars. So you might want something that you wear on your back. It's probably the safest place for your bow. So, I don't mind, like, there's not one product that is good for a 100% of people. Otherwise, there wouldn't be this giant problem that we're all trying to solve. So, I understand that. I just enjoy showing our product and saying, hey, this is a really cool option. If you think it will work for you, I'd love for you to have one. But if you don't think it's for you, you're gonna find a reason not to like it. It's a but the value that the Bow Hitch provides, it's great, and it comes from people just like the boys shooting. Because at the beginning, yeah, I could carry my bow. It doesn't bother me. That's not a problem at all. After day two of a hunt, day three of a hunt, even if you shoot two courses at a tack or any other 3D event, by the end of one shoot, you're tired because you're carrying this, 4, 5, 6, 7 pound bow around, and you're trying to take care of it because it's a
Right.
precise piece of machinery, right? You don't want to hold it by the string. You don't want to do this. You don't want to do that. So you got to be mindful of where you place it, how you pick it up, how you transport it. So um, I don't know. I went off on a tangent there, but it's
Oh, you're good.
it's just great that people tell you that, without you knowing, you're able to look at it and you have feedback, live feedback from people telling you, yeah, this actually works.
Yeah, because Jay and Trey, they're always laughing at me because I'm the guy in the group that like doesn't like to buy a lot of extra stuff. Like I'm cheap when it comes to my stuff, but I want good quality stuff, but I don't want to pay for it. So
Yeah,
I'm a big barterer. I trade around for a lot of stuff that I want. Some stuff that I don't use anymore, I'll
yeah,
offer it to our buddy, like, hey, you want this for X amount of dollars and whatever, and I'll end up getting what I need. Um, Trying it out, stuff like that. So when I'm looking, when somebody tells me like, hey man, you need to get this for your bow, I'll look it up and be like, do I really would I use it? Do I really need it? But once I got off that mountain and seen how tired my shoulders were and everything, I was like, dude, this is one of those things that is going to have to become a necessity for me, especially when I'm hunting or shooting 3D. It's a necessity for archers. I feel like, the bow stands they're cool, but the bow stand only comes in effect when after you take the shot, you sit the bow down and then you wait for your other person to shoot. But then essentially to take off to the next target, you've got to pick your bow back up.
yeah, a
And
1000%. Yeah, you're bending back over, you're putting your cams in the dirt. I mean, how many, like, you figure there's 24 targets, your bow's going to be in the dirt the majority of that time because you're one shooter. After you
right,
shoot, you're waiting for these other guys. Um, if the land is flat, you can use that bow stand a lot.
right.
I mean,
If the land is flat, yeah.
we don't have a whole lot of flat over here, so I don't know. I mean, just I implore everybody to check it out. If you think it'll work for you, we got tons of reviews, just like the ones and testimonials. Uh, it's The way I see it, I honestly believe that it's going to be almost like the stabilizer was a long time ago when the first stabilizer came out and people are like, "Dude, what the hell is that?
Right.
Why would you put that on your bow? That looks ridiculous, you know?" And sooner or later it's just not going to make sense. Like, why would you carry your bow? So, we're going to work with some bow manufacturers. I'm going to try to get them incorporated as part of a package deal, to where you buy this bow, it comes with it's hunt ready. It
That's
comes
right.
with your
Yeah,
quiver, your sight, your bow hitch. Pick your arrows and let's go.
that's right. That'd be super awesome, man. So
Yeah.
you said there's three different sizes, correct?
Yes. Okay. So good question. Let me show you how that works. I'll have so when you take a measurement, and this video is on the website, and we're gonna update it just to be another nice clean one. But your quiver typically attaches here or to your limb somewhere. So what we do is we'll say this is installed here. Okay. So we just have to make sure that this opening here, which is where our strap attaches to, sticks out past your last arrow.
Okay.
So if your quiver is super tight and it lands here, you can get away with the small, which is going to put it about here. If your quiver comes all the way out here, then you're going to need a large because we need it to stick out a little bit further. That's why we have the three.
Okay.
Yeah,
That makes
so
sense.
super simple. Yeah, you measure from where the quiver attaches to your sight or these holes to the last arrow in your quiver. And whatever that measurement is will tell us what size of bow hitch you need.
Gotcha. What kind of bow you got there?
This one is, dude, I just gave this away. This is a brand new Bowtech Justice.
That's
So
pretty sweet.
yeah, it's a sweet, sweet bow, dude. So every year in January, we do what is called well, I mean, we've heard of it, but it's random acts of kindness. So I do a campaign for the entire month of January, and my intention with it is to get people off on the right foot. Let's do some cool shit for other people, right? So, um, random acts of kindness every January. That bow was given to me to give away to somebody who did something kind for somebody else. So for the entire month, people just get onto our page. I create one post that's the official random acts of kindness post, and people just respond. Hey, today I took this kid fishing for the first time. I gave him my old ugly stick and a couple of old sinkers and bobbers and an old tackle box that I had. Cool, man. Thanks for all. I'll reply. Tip. Thank you. Thanks for doing that. That's great. Something, and that gets you entered in to win. So this year we gave away this bow along with 24 other prizes. So I mean, we gave away a brand new Vortex rangefinder. We gave away, dude. I mean, I have this giant list of things. A bunch of swag packages from people. The bow rack in Oregon is shipping out of Target. One of those mini elk targets. I have bow tuning from Corbin's Archery in Texas. Um, Camo, hike to hunt, hunt, lift, eat packages. Just you name it, dude. First Form Outdoors is with us. So we have some really, really cool people that love being a part of our giveaway. And every January we do it. So pretty neat.
That's awesome. I like that concept, random acts of kindness. Because yeah, you know, everything that's going on in our world now, man, there's so much division and so much hate and just so much that you see on social media. People trying to drive nails in between us, Democrat, Republican, this and that, black, white, blue, purple. It's cool to see a company like you all that um, looks for the positives. Just little random act, like you said, those little random acts of kindness that you never know what a person's going through, man. And just something that small could have made their day and you not even know it. It might be somebody on the verge of, committing suicide or doing something like that. And you just open up a door for them and just say, hey, how you doing? I hope you have a good day. God bless you. You don't know what that means to some people, man.
Yeah.
And it's great to see a company do something like that, man. I love it. That's awesome.
Yeah, dude, it's the coolest thing. It is so freaking cool. Go through, if you guys get a chance, just go to our handle is at the Bow Hitch, and you'll see a picture of a really pretty sunset, and it's a pinned post. Just go look at that post and start reading some of the comments and some of the cool things that people do, and you'll probably tear up. I know I do when I read through those, and the stories keep going. Like you said, you never know how it's going to affect somebody or how long it will affect them. We gave away gifts 2 years ago that are still producing results for the winners. Like, God gives us these gifts to do cool things with. He made me a conduit to do His work, and I'm a conduit to do all the people who join me's work. That's all I am, dude. I'm a facilitator to say, hey, you guys do cool things all the time. Let me help put these together, and remind people that it's cool to be cool, man. Cool to be nice to people. And there is enough negativity out there that's the last thing that we need. Like if we just didn't bring up negative things that we think we need to say, we just have a great time no matter what camp we're in and with who. Like if we weren't allowed to talk about certain things, we're all the same, man. We're all the same. We should just treat each other well, and the rest takes care of itself.
That's right, man. I wish more people thought like that, man. But a lot of this stuff, the hate, it's taught. It's
Sure,
generational.
yeah.
It's taught from generation to generation, and I feel like it's getting a lot better. I feel like the older generation's kind of dying out, and people are actually learning that it's not about somebody's skin color or political background. It's the way that they treat you, and that's the way it should be, man. I don't know you from Adam, and I meet you somewhere and we could just find common ground with each other and remain friends after we, depart from each other, and just call and text each other. Hey man, make sure you're good, make sure your family's good, and just that's how it should be, man.
Agreed, 1,000%. Yeah, yeah. We do stuff like that all the time. So if you guys are into that kind of thing, um, follow along, dude. We do a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. Going back to the bow hitch though, so trial and error. How long did it take you to come up with the bow hitch, and what type of material is that? Is it aluminum? Is it metal? Or
So
what?
so okay, so the first one was drawn on a napkin on my dining room table. I still have the napkin. The first one was produced after a couple of frosties. I went down into the garage and got my angle grinder out and a piece of sheet metal and cut the first one out with the rough drawing that I did. And
Yeah.
I grabbed my bow and I drilled some holes where I thought might line up with the sights. And so the first one was terrible, but that was just a concept build, right? Um, but not many renditions, man. From the grand scheme of things, um, the first bow hitch was almost identical to this. The big thing that we did change is it came up. Do it this way. It came up and out, and then this opening was actually about right here. So we
Uh-huh.
didn't have it offset far enough. So when I used the first one on the first hunt ever that I went on with it, I saw that my bow was tipping a little bit. It wasn't perfectly parallel to the ground. So we extended this further out, and the next one was just money, bro. Whatever this distance is that we made is perfect because this ends up right at the D loop, and now your bow always sits perfectly flat right on your side. So I was fortunate because I was talking to my uncle Mike, actually the one from Louis L'Amour, and was telling him, I'm like, damn, Unc, I think I'm onto something, man. We're designing this thing, and I think we're going to try to patent it and do the whole nine with it. So he says, well, why don't you call your cousin Joseph, who is his son? He said he's in the process of trying to get a patent for a game him and his buddies invented, a board game. So he can answer some questions for you on that. So I call up Joseph out of the blue. Hey, Joe, this was popping. This is what I got going on. What do you got going on? So he gives me a bunch of advice, and then he tells me, well, what are you making? he says, well, if you need me to, I could 3D print it. Just come to the house and I'll give me the dimensions and kind of what you're looking for, and I'll make one. And so, okay. And he's like, well, just come over, dude. By the time I got to his house, I sent him a picture of the dimensions. He entered them into his computer. And when I get there, he starts burning the first one out of the 3D printer material, whatever
Yeah.
that plastic is. And so
Yeah.
I told him, okay, we need to offset it a little bit more, make this stretch a little bit longer. And we literally almost built the entire thing that first day.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's
So
pretty sweet.
14 gauge steel is what we've always used. We are swapping from 14 gauge cold rolled steel to 14 gauge stainless steel. That way, when I do the etching, we don't get any rust.
That's awesome.
So we have a 2.0 that's coming out. Let me grab one. I just saw one over here.
Cool.
And so we haven't released it yet, but we are working on it, and kind of need to do some finishing touches. But what you're gonna be getting, well, we're working on several things. I'm working on a pricing for titanium, to get some made out of titanium, maybe some aluminum alloys to shave a little bit of weight. But the biggest thing that you're gonna see is we're incorporating a broadhead wrench into it, so you'll always have a broadhead wrench on your bow. So we're making this tool even more effective. We're going to turn this into a multi-tool.
That's money.
Yeah. So we're going to be adding that to the 2.0 right now. So there's the 3 different sizes, right? There's a small, medium, and large. And I'll show you. It's good. This color sequence is perfect for us. So they all line up exactly the same. You can see that the medium is the black one. These holes fit in the large as well as the small. So it's 1 inch of versatility in between each one. But the green one is our small bow hitch. That weighs 3 ounces, 3.05 ounces. This one weighs 4, and this one weighs 4.5 ounces. Gotcha. So you're going to be adding that little amount of weight to your bow in exchange for never carrying your bow in your hand or putting it down again.
Right. So price point, are they all the same price for different ones? They're
all the same. Yeah, they're all the same. Any color, any size is all the same price. We are going to be upping the price a little bit because the price of stainless and the that 2.0, this is gonna increase the price too, because the cut time on the machine, the laser time, is gonna take us a little bit longer. So I don't want to spit out a price right now, but there will be going up from what you see on the website today. When those get released, the 2.0 will be a little bit more expensive.
Gotcha. Well, when are you planning on releasing the 2.0s? Or
I'm hoping this before we start hitting our tax, like in the next March, by the end of April, we should have those 2.0s.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's sweet, man. Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm definitely on board for sure. I'm definitely gonna have to get me one of them, and definitely test it out and do a little review on it and whatever, and send it to you, and and tell all my buddies about it, because I know they're always like, man, I wish there was something I could do and carry my bow. We've tried strings and those cables. It just puts too much strain on either your back or your neck or anything like that. So that being on your side right there, man, like that's a game changer. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think what we should probably do then is we'll get you one to do all the testing and everything with, and then an honest review. Hey, I like it. I don't like it. This is whatever. Like, let's give away a bow hitch before you even do it. That way people don't think, this is a tainted, review, because we'll take the Pepsi challenge against anybody, dude. Like, our shit it's the bomb. It works. So
yeah, I'll give it honest opinion. I'm an honest guy. I'm not just gonna say it's a good thing just because I had you on the podcast or whatever. If I don't like it, I'll tell you.
Yeah,
But
no, that's perfect. Just so people know, like, that's what we want to hear. That's how we get better. We got to get constructive criticism, which we haven't got a lot, but it's important for us to hear. If we ever stop listening, that's a problem for us.
yeah, I'm not saying this just because you're on my podcast, but I just don't see any negatives to it. I mean, you're not carrying your bow. Like
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you said, like you have the perfect logo and or slogan, carrying your bow sucks, and it does.
Right there. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome, man. But
So yeah, carrying your bow sucks. We have our rifle sling out now, which works with the crossbow, and it's the same thing. Carrying your crossbow sucks. Carrying your shotgun sucks.
yeah,
We have a tripod sling. Carrying your tripod sucks. Like, we've invented something in our entire life. Like, everywhere you look around you, whatever you have to carry from point A to point B, we've tried to make a more efficient way to carry it or to move it. And this just fits right in with that principle.
I love it, man. I'm definitely on board, man. So but yeah, man, I don't want to keep you on too long, man. I know you got family stuff and everything like that. But how can people get a hold of you if they want to talk more about or ask you more questions about the Bow Hitch and everything like that? How can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, so at the Bow Hitch on Instagram is where I do most of my social media. It transfers over to Facebook, but I really don't check that much. So there, I couldn't tell you how many messages I have on Facebook. So if you'd like to get a hold of me, please do it on Instagram at the Bow Hitch. And then we also have thebowhitch.com, which you can sign up there, send us an email at thebowhitch.com, and we'll get back to you. It's myself and my partner. We're both busy. We both got kids in traveling sports. But we do a really good job at getting back. So we'll answer whatever question you have, tell you if it's going to work, and what our 2 cents are. But something we've had somebody fall on their bow hitch. They were hiking with it, and so they're like, dude, this bow hitch saved my hunt. The bow hitch bent when I fell on it, but I didn't bend my bow. My bow's still shooting perfect. So they're like, I straightened it out and it's all good, but like, literally, you saved my entire hunt. So we've had that happen a couple of times where people fall and are landing on their bow, but because it's strapped up, the bow hitch doesn't fall all the way to the ground. And so we'll warranty those issues. But I mean, just want to let you know, like, we're we're a small business. We're firemen. We don't got that money. It's not a big company. So we're here to make sure that our customers taken care of. So if you guys have any questions or concerns on anything about the product, ask us, and then we'll shoot you straight. But thebowhitch.com or at the Bow Hitch on Instagram. And as soon as we get off of here, I think we can hit up that New Jack Archers NJA15. We'll get you guys a 15% discount there. Anybody who'd like to try any of our products out, we'd love to have you. And I'd be happy to extend this to you. I appreciate you having me and staying up late. I know you're on the East Coast, so thank you.
Thank you, man. Yeah, that's awesome. Anybody out there that has any questions about the Bow Hitch, hit him up. All the places that he just mentioned, and I'm a big proponent of small business. I love small businesses. I love supporting small businesses. It just feels like more of a family oriented type thing. You get to know somebody, small business, and then you keep supporting them, and before you know it, they're a big business, and then they come back to you like, hey man, thank you for supporting me for when I was smaller. You never know, don't forget where you come from type thing. And that's why I love small towns, man. I grew up in a small town here in Kentucky, man, and it sucks because everybody knows your business, but at the same time, it's the real close knit. Everybody takes care of each other. Everybody watches each other's backs and stuff like that. And that's what I like about small town. You kind of get caught up in the big city life when you get up there, or, New York and different places like that. It's too fast. Kind of the small time. You kind of can slow down and kind of enjoy it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, 1,000%, dude. We got to take care of each other. Whatever community that is that you're in, you could still do it. So no, I dig it. Hopefully, hopefully the plan is to make something out of this dream that we're pursuing, and then pass on whatever knowledge and information and skill set that we learn to the next person who comes up with something cool, man. And they might, they might be, I wouldn't even call them our competition, but they might make something where I'm like, damn, that is dope. Let me help you
yeah,
get that out there. Like
right,
that
yeah,
that that's what it should be, because we're all making each other better.
right. We are. That's absolutely correct. But thank you, man. If I can ever do anything for you, man, you got my phone number. I'm always down. I'm usually up pretty late.
Okay.
If you need to talk about anything, or just need an ear to vent to, man, I'm always here for you if you need me, brother.
No, I appreciate it. And good luck on you guys getting out there and doing it. We do this too. Uh, it's a lot of work, man. So to every small business, to every podcaster who's out there, to anybody who's trying to do a YouTube channel or whatever you're doing, like, keep it up. Be like, you don't go unrecognized and unappreciated, even though sometimes you're like, bro, I'm tired
Yeah,
of this. Like,
yeah.
this is a grind, and I'm not seeing this tree ain't giving me no fruit. Like, so it's a grind. But if it's something that you believe in, that you're passionate about, keep at it, because it shows. So I just want to say thank you, and then keep it up to you too, brother.
Appreciate it, man. Yeah, this podcast will be out on Spotify, my YouTube channel, and it will also be on Apple, and also on Mondays through StreamYards and Instagram. We have a new podcast that me, my buddy Trey Reed, and my buddy Jay Cam have, called the New Jack Archers. It's just three brothers that met each other through Instagram and finally met each other this weekend. And you follow Oklahoma, and we just love archery, and we just try to, give out as much information as we can about the sport and, stuff like that. Try to keep it positive for all the newcomers, even some of the old timers. If you want to check us out there, check out Armando at thebowhitch.com on Instagram. If you got any questions for him, man, just go ask him. Great guy. Shout out to him for, firefighting. That's a job in itself, man. So I know they don't get paid enough for what they do, man, but they save a lot of lives, man. And so I just want to thank you for that, man. Those first responders, man, they're something else. So something to be said about you for doing that, man. So appreciate you, appreciate your service, man. And if I can do anything from anybody out there, any of my listeners, just let me know, man. So Armando Martinez, thank you, brother.
Thanks, bro. You guys have a blessed night. Thanks for having me on.
Yes, sir. Big game, small game, all game. We do this too.